Hey folks, good morning and welcome to another episode of Steelers Morning Rush. It is Friday, August 16th. We made it to the end of the week. I'm Alan Saunders. The Steelers are off today, and so no practice, so no Steelers practice report, but we do come at you with an episode of Steelers Morning Rush, and then later with another episode of Steelers Afternoon Drive. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications here on the YouTube platform. Make sure you're not missing any of our great Steelers content from the whole team at Steelers Now, myself, Smitty, DB, Chris Ward, the whole kit and caboodle. Make sure you don't miss any of it. Today we're going to talk about something that a bunch of people have been asking me about, and I think some people may be confused about, and that's what the Steelers are doing with defensive back Cam Sutton. Sutton is suspended for the first 8 games of the season, but that suspension does not kick in until cutdown day, until the day the rosters are cut from 90 to 53. So from that day, he will be suspended 8 games, 8 weeks. And now, Sutton is not suspended. Now, Sutton has been a starting caliber player for the last few years. He started at outside corner. He was the number 1 corner for the Detroit Lions last year. He started as the outside corner for the Steelers the year before that. He also worked as the Steelers' primary nickel corner the year before that. So he's got plenty of experience. Sutton is a pretty good player. But the Steelers haven't really been using him very much. And so a lot of people have been asking, what's going on? Where is he? What is he doing? So the gist of it is, look, the Steelers know they need to have a season of a replacement in the slot, and they are doing everything they can to find who that is going to be. So that means that guys like Beanie Bishop, Graylin Arnold, Thomas Graham have dominated the reps in the slot. Beanie is getting an opportunity to be a starter as an undrafted rookie, which is pretty unprecedented for the Steelers. They want to give him as many reps as they can to make sure they feel comfortable with him in that role. Graylin Arnold is a guy who had been around and was probably on the roster border. Their intention was for this week to give Graylin Arnold a lot of first-team reps to see if he was going to make this team, if they wanted to have a second slot corner on this team besides Beanie, because Sutton doesn't count towards the 53-man roster while he's suspended. So on cutdown day, the Steelers are going to put him on the suspended list, and they're going to have 54 players. 55 if you count Cole Holcomb. So then, but Arnold got hurt. So now I think you'll see Thomas Graham, maybe like Zion Gilbert, who's one of the new corners this time, will play some slot. I actually didn't get to watch a lot of the defense yesterday, so I'm not quite sure where he lined up. Either way, we've also seen the Steelers working in a lot of dime packages, and that means they've been using Corey Trice, Darius Rush, and Ryan Watts as the dime corner, in addition to Bishop and Arnold and Graham as the nickel corner. Again, those guys are all not necessarily in the roster bubble, but they're young players looking to prove their versatility to make this team, to solidify a spot on this team or to solidify a role. And so Sutton doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. The Steelers know who he is. He also doesn't really need to be ready for the season because he can't play for 8 weeks. Halfway through his suspension, he is able to start practicing with the team. So we will see Sutton begin to practice with the team for about a month before he's able to return. So he has, in fact, his suspension ends on the Steelers' bye week. So he gets another week before he gets to play in a game, that first one being in week 9 at Washington. So they don't really need Cam Sutton to do anything right now, is basically the mindset. It's like everybody else is in the 3rd week of training camp, entering preseason week 2, and Cam Sutton may as well be at OTAs because he has a long way to go before they're going to need him to play. So as a result, they don't want him to take away reps from someone that they might want to get a look at, whether it's Bishop, who they are trying to groom for a starting role, whether it's a guy like Arnold or Graham or Watts, who was on the roster bubble, whether it's a guy like Rush or Trice, who is trying to show versatility by being able to play in a different position. All those guys are more important for reps than Cam Sutton is. And so he hasn't gotten any. In fact, I haven't seen him play hardly any nickel. I haven't seen him play any dime. I have seen him play a little bit of outside corner, and I've seen him play a lot of free safety. Now, Sutton has played free safety before, but I would consider that his 3rd best position. So why are the Steelers putting Cam Sutton at free safety? Well, it's because their free safeties are Minkah Fitzpatrick and Damontae Kazee. And those guys don't need that many reps compared to all those young players battling for roster spots, battling for starting jobs, and trying to show versatility in their game there's nobody that needs those reps at free safety more. So, there's Jalen Elliott, who's just signed back to the team. He's one free safety, and then you've got Sutton. There's not really anybody else that the Steelers are trying to get out there at that position in this game. Mike Tomlin said, we're going to have an inclusive mindset. We're not going to hold anybody back in terms of looking for somebody else. And he meant that largely. But they are holding Cam Sutton back so they look at everybody else because they don't need him right now. And obviously, this is, what happens when you put yourself in the situation that Sutton has put himself in by, getting arrested and charged with domestic violence and suspended for 8 games. So I think it makes sense that Sutton's back there. It's just a way for him to get some work in and not take away from anything else the team is doing. A lot of people have also expressed the idea, well, if he's going to miss 8 games, and why bother to sign him? And, I think there's obviously, a moral argument to be made about why would you want to sign someone that had just been arrested and charged with what Sutton has been charged with. But from a team's perspective, man, we've talked a lot about how difficult the back part of the schedule is. And also, do you remember what happened to the secondary last year when they had 7 guys hurt and they had to sign Eric Rowe off the couch in week 11? Yeah, it'd be pretty nice to have had a Cam Sutton laying around in that circumstance. And he's not costing the team a thing. He's not going to earn a salary while he's suspended. So let's just say the Steelers go out there and Beanie Bishop is looking great and like a future long-term starter at the nickel position, maybe Cam Sutton won't take his job, but he's still going to be a very useful player. He can play slot corner, dime. He can play dime. He can play outside corner. He can play free safety. He's a very valuable asset to a football team, whether he's the starting slot or starting outside. He also has way more experience than any of the other backups we're talking about, like Ryan Watts, Corey Trice, Darius Rush. He'd be the only experienced backup in the whole secondary, hitting that prime second half of the season time when you need backups. And so the other part of this is you get somebody in there that's done it. With respect to Thomas Graham and Grayland Arnold, even though they've been around the league, Cam Sutton has a lot greater mastery of especially the Pittsburgh Steelers defense for someone like Beanie Bishop to be able to ask questions and learn from while he's starting as an undrafted rookie. Again, this is an extremely unprecedented situation that the Steelers are in terms of starting a UDFA player week 1, having someone to be able to be basically his personal coach. Now, Sutton's not able to be in the stadium on game days while he's serving his suspension, but that could go a long way. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much an update on what the Steelers have planned and are doing with Cam Sutton. I know a lot of people, you're going to see him in the preseason game, but it's probably going to be with the third team and playing in a position you don't suspect he normally plays. And I think that's confused some people. I hope I cleared up some of that confusion. We will have more with myself, Smitty, and Derek Bell on Steelers Afternoon Drive later today. And, of course, me and Smitty post-game after the Steelers and the Buffalo Bills kickoff at 7 p.m. on Saturday from Acrisure Stadium. I'll be there. And, of course, go to SteelersNow.com, read all of the written content, and sign up for SN Plus. Great deal. Only lasts one more day until Saturday, an entire year for $10. Don't miss out on this. It's a great deal. All the best content for myself and DB and the rest of the team. You don't want to miss it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications on the YouTube channel, and we'll see you with more next time. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.